What's up, YouTube? I'm headed to Shark Tank Poker Club for the 200K guarantee. Let's try to make this bag. This is our starting stack of 30,000. The first interesting hand we have to go over, we are dealt Queen Jack of Hearts in middle position. Under the gun raises to 600. Under the gun +1. Both players are loose players, calls to 600. I don't want to flat and bring in a bunch of players, so I 3-bet to 2,500. Under the gun calls and +1 folds. The pot's 6,500. Flop comes down Jack 5-3 rainbow. Our opponent checks. I bet 2,000 and he raises to 11,200 and is all in. This early, I'm not ready to get 90% of my stack in, and with no flush draw out there, his check raise is never a bluff, so I fold and we move on. We dwindle our chip stack down to about 16,000, and then we get dealt 8-9 of spades. A loose position player raises to 1,100. I call, and the small blind calls. Everyone else folds. The flop comes down 8-8-6, 2 clubs, bingo. Small blind checks. The original raiser bets 3,000. I just smooth call, and to our surprise, the small blind check raises to 7,000. The original raiser folds, and there's only one decision here. I jam all in for 15,000. He calls and shows us pocket nines. The turn is a 6, the river's a king, and we scoop one up. Our last interesting hand before break, there is one call from early position. I have ace queen suited, and I raise to 1,100. There's one cold call from late position, and the limper calls. The flop comes down 7-7 jack with 2 clubs. Early position checks to us, and I bet 4,000, which is the size of the pot, trying to take it down right here with our flush draw and 2 overs. The button does fold, and the early position player comes along. He's not buying it. Turn card is the ace of diamonds, and the opponent checks to us. I think this is a great card for us, although we didn't hit our club that we were semi-bluffing with on the flop. It still gives us top pair, so we bet 5,000. Early position calls, and the pot's now 22,000. The river is even better for us as the 4 clubs comes off, giving us the nut flush, but there is a pair on board. Although I don't see how, the way this hand is played, that he has a full house or even a 7. So he checks to us once again, and I bet 6,000. He just smooth calls and rolls over a 7. I didn't see his other card, but he did have a 7. So thankfully for us, that club came in, and we win a nice pot here. Okay, so it's freezing cold out. We're on our first break. Stack's about 56K. We have some interesting hands to go over, but I'm going to be vlogging on breaking my car because it is too cold out and it's too packed inside to hear anything or talk or anything. So it seems like our table's pretty soft, minus maybe 1 or 2 players. So we're gonna try to run it up. See you guys on the next break. Not too much happened in these 4 levels. Psych, I lied. A whole bunch happened in these levels. First quick hand to report, we got pocket kings and lose to 9-6 of hearts. Yeah, that's right, 9-6 of hearts with a flop of 9-9-8. And then we get pocket queens, we beat pocket 4s, won maybe about a 6-7K pot there. Then we get pocket queens, all in for about a 30K pot against pocket 6s, and we would have won this hand had it not been for an opponent to the left of us calling for a 4th diamond on the river to give our other opponent a flush with his pocket 6s. Although we did become friends with this player, I'm still hurt that he caused us to lose this hand. Then we get dealt pocket jacks on the button. There is a raise, a call, we 3-bet. The original raiser jams all in for about 12-13K. The other player folds, we call, he shows pocket queens, we show pocket jacks, and we spike a jack on the turn for a set, which is the run good for the run bad that we had when we had queens versus 6s. As blinds started to increase, we took advantage of all the hands we had to show down that were good and started scooping up blinds and continuation betting flops and picking up a lot of small pots that really added up in this level. Then we also get pocket queens again and flop top set and get some money on the flop, and I think he folded on the turn. So we are headed to break with a really nice stack. What's up? We're on dinner break. I just ate me some delicious food for dinner. Give me that good fuel and energy. We're on break with 110K. I'm probably not going to do much filming, by the way. This is just day one. If we make day two, I'll do a lot more filming. But 110K coming back to blinds of 800, 1600. So a pretty healthy stack. Wish me luck, and I'll see you guys on the next break. Coming back from break, we get dealt pocket fives, early position. We raise. Everyone folds a short stack in the small blind, goes all in. Seen him jam earlier with a7 offsuit. He goes all in for 29,000. This is definitely a fold, but we ended up calling it off, and he has pocket jacks, and we lose. So the first really good, interesting hand we have is in the big blind. We get dealt 8-4 of clubs. There is an under the gun +1 limp and 3 other callers. I check in the big blind. The pot's 13,000. The flop comes 10 of clubs, 4 diamonds, 2 of clubs. About as good of a flop as we could hope for with this hand. I think they call it something like the big blind special. Anyways, the small blind checks. I check with the intention of check raising, considering everyone just called pre-flop. Under the gun +1 bet 6,000. Everyone folds, and it's on us. So of course I check raise to 16,000 as planned. The under the gun +1 thinks for a second and then announces all in. And I immediately ask for a count, which is a total of 58,000. So the pot's 87,000. Now we kind of have a decision. Didn't really expect to get jammed on, but with a pot of 87,000, it's only costing me 42,000 more, which is slightly above 2-to-1 odds against a very tight range of aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens, pocket fours, pocket deuces. We're still a 43% chance to win. And I think the odds are about 1.5 to 1, making this a correct call given this range, even if you factor in ICM, I think so. And it's not our tournament life, so we go ahead and call. The pot's 129,000. The villain shows pocket tens, the worst hand we could be up against. Let's give this the old Brad Owen and ask for our subscribers to help us out with a little run good by hitting that like button. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, guys. I appreciate all of you. And wouldn't you know, it worked. No waiting for us. 3 of clubs on the turn and a brick 7 of hearts on the river for a huge pot. We leak some chips with 2 raises that we miss and our c-bet doesn't work. A few calls with hands we don't think we can profitably 3-bet given the stack sizes, or that I'm just too much of a pillow to 3-bet with. We don't play many hands, go a little card dead. Stack size approximately 105,000 now. Let's allow the on break me to do this next hand breakdown. Well, we're still in, but barely. It's the last break. Lost a huge race, huge flip, 9-9 versus ace king. Wasn't all in pre, it was kind of weird. He raised to 10,000 and I made it 55,000 on the button. Wait, what? You 5.5x his raise? What are you doing? What are you even thinking? To be honest, I couldn't see his chip stack that well, and I thought I was putting him all in for about 18 big blinds. And he just called. He says call and pushes all his chips in, but he wasn't all in because he just said call. So then he pushes 16K in before the flop's dealt. And then shoved, I don't know, 20K on before the flop even came out, and I just snap called. Flop was king 8-8. Tough tournament poker stuff. We have about 9 big blinds, 8-9 big blinds with 59 people left. 34 make day 2. I need to run it up. The joys of tournament poker. We went out, I think, 50th place, 49th place, something like that. We had ace-10 in the big blind. The button raises. We jam all in for about 8 big blinds. He just min raised. He calls with 6-7. We have ace-10. Flop ace-7, 9, turn, 7, river, 4. You know, no big deal.